Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. So in this video, we are going to talk about a controversy regarding sunscreen, whether the SPF mark in the sunscreen bottle, is it legit? Should we trust our sunscreens now? And all of that jazz. So stay tuned till the end if you need to know all about the basics of sunscreen, how they are tested and how do you get the SPF rated in your bottle, how you should correctly apply it, and all the topics covering this controversy on Purito sunscreen or whether you should stop believing in Asian sunscreen in general. So hey guys, if you are seeing this face for the very first time, hi, I'm Maitri Hildar. I do post a lot of skincare contents like this, mixed with a couple of contents that I really like. So if you are into that genre, then do consider subscribing and hitting on that bell notification to get notified every time I upload. Also, do not forget to follow me in my social media accounts, where I'm the most active and you get to be a part of what goes into my videos, especially my Instagram, where I do come live occasionally to answer back to all of your skincare concerns. So coming on to today's topic, it is not a very simple topic, but it is one of the topics that you guys recommend me a lot and you guys want my thoughts on it. So take this video my thoughts kind of video, not like a one-stop destination for this whole controversy. Now this whole controversy, I think it started in 2020 and it happened to one of the sunscreen that I did really love a lot, and it almost compared to my favorite Biore one, but it does has a consistency of its own. It is light, it did had a SPF rating of 50 and all of the amazing filters. If you are familiar with Inky Decoder, the founder or CEO of Inky Decoder decided that I need to test this SPF, which feels amazing, and she thought that the SPF rating they are putting is not enough. This might be some more picture to it, and many people are having concern with sunburns. So this Inky Decoder CEO or founder tried to go to two different labs, or one lab tried to test this sunscreen out, and what we found out through that test is that the SPF is about 19 or 18, which is less than even the half of what it claimed in the bottle. So this whole situation created this panic that we should stop wearing sunscreen that feels light, or we should stop wearing Asian sunscreens and we should only focus upon thick white cast base FDA approved sunscreen which will give us enough protection. But we need to think more about it and we need to delve down more upon the Asian sunscreen, why they are formulated like that, why they are lightweight, and all of that problem, to just try to put a full stop in that controversy. Now if you are not familiar with sunscreen tests, there are two types of tests, one which is machine tested and second which is human tested. So in vitro is basically your machine testing and in vivo is your human testing. So what it happens is that you have a machine and it has a plate which mimics the human skin, and then you put a sunscreen layer and then you put it under the harsh UV rays and everything, and then you get a test result. And what it happens in vivo is that they have human volunteers and they apply sunscreen in their back and they are exposed to this UV radiation, and depending upon the performance of the sunscreen on the skin, because the protection that you get is your sunscreen getting properly absorbed by your skin, and they both together combinedly protect your skin from the UV rays. So human skin is the most accurate, or the in vivo test is the most accurate one, but what it happens is that it is a lot more cruel and it is a lot more hazardous to the humans who are being tested. Now before going on to the sunscreen test, we are going to talk about what Asian sunscreen and the US or FDA based sunscreen has a little bit of a difference. Now Asian based sunscreen, if you have noticed, Asian based sunscreen are very lightweight, they almost feel like serum, they feel like cream, they do not give you a lot of white cast, and they do feel more comfortable if you compare it with other gold standard sunscreens such as La Roche-Posay or Neutrogena or any other type of thick sunscreen that does gives you a lot of protection. Now why does Asian sunscreen does has that thinner consistency? There are two reasons why. Now the US based sunscreen are thick and give you much more protection than the label claim, because it depends on the average consumer who is applying this sunscreen and why they are buying it. In the Asian community, people are more focused on daily usage of sunscreen. They do not want tanning for their skin. They do have their fair share of color and they do want to protect their skin from the tan and the aging process. So the Asian based sunscreen are more of your everyday based kind of a sunscreen. So the sunscreen suppliers do make a sunscreen that is much more comparable to your normal skincare items such as a cream or a serum, and which is comfortable to apply and reapply. But the average consumer in the US or the UK or any other parts of the world, even India, does buy the sunscreen when they are going to a beach, having a lot of exposure, and they want a heavy duty sunscreen which will give the protection even if they are soaked under the sun and dried out like a raisin. So the sunscreen that doesn't give you a lot of sunburn even if you go to a beach has a lot more thicker consistency, and they do adhere to your skin that well, but they are not really fancier or chemically elegant to reapply or even apply a lot and the desired amount that you should apply. So these kind of sunscreen involves like Neutrogena or or those heavy sunblocks, or even La Roche-Posay sometimes. So these type of sunscreens such as the Neutrogena ones, or even like those heavy thick mineral based sunscreen, are more targeted towards these type of audience who does require, like, I want to buy a sunscreen which will only give me protection when I need it. And these people do not really wear sunscreen on a regular basis. They do want that one step kind of a solution. So what these companies do, that they provide a sunscreen which does exceed the label claim. So for example, this is a SPF 15 sunscreen, but if it was that thicker based sunscreen, the SPF rating would go up to like 70 or 80. In fact, in testing out some of the US based sunscreen, we did found out the SPF rating of the sunscreen is much more higher than the SPF label, because the consumers didn't want to get that burn even if they dry it out in the sun, and the suppliers want to deliver that. But in your average Asian based society, it is not the concern that people have. They do want to protect their skin every single day, and they believe in consistency of applying and reapplying sunscreen. So this is the basic difference of your traditional Japanese or Korean sunscreen being non-sticky, non-greasy, and easier to apply than your traditional like mineral based or heavier based sunscreen such as Neutrogena or even La Roche-Posay, who does have a lot more thicker consistency and does gives you a lot more protection, if you say so like that. But you see, sunscreen is something that should be applied enough and reapplied in order to not get you sun tanning and also the harsh effects from the UV rays. So for me, my ideal sunscreen should have that consistency right, that protection right, and also the ease of reapplying right to get me to wear that sunscreen for throughout my life. And that is the thing that you should be more focused upon. Now coming to the test, now people have been hating Purito for all those controversy. Now Purito is a brand that I support a lot because their ethics is well enough, and I think their products are amazing. And even if the sunscreen that I have purchased, I have not thrown it. I've used it completely all over my body and my face because I am at my home, and SPF 14 or 15 is well enough in your home if you are not exposing to a lot of sun, if it was the actual truth. But why I think that people should not judge a sunscreen is because your favorite sunscreens such as Neutrogena or La Roche-Posay, two of the amazing brands that does produce amazing sunscreen, and those sunscreen does exceeds their SPF rating in some of the tested, did also came out with this controversy of being tested about SPF 14, sometimes 18, and sometimes even 30 for their claimed SPF 50. So it's not like Purito was the first company to do this unfair thing to you, but it is not unfair if you looked into the whole picture. It is done by Neutrogena, La Roche-Posay, and the SPF test result that you get depends upon a lot of different factors that you might need to ponder upon. Now when companies does send that SPF to be tested, it is almost done on a fresh batch of sunscreen, and when a company or a consumer is sending a sunscreen, it is not particularly a fresh batch. And the reason of me saying this is that one of the consumers or one of the people that we're talking about in the internet is that the sample that the ink decoder sent was sent in a plastic container and it was yellow in color. But if you have ever used Purito sunscreen, then you might know that the sunscreen is white in color. So it might happen that the batch was old or the container was open and it was reacting to this air and moisture, or even it reacting to that appearance of the container. Another thing that you might want to keep consider is that when you are testing or when you are sending a particular sunscreen to a lab, you have that biasness of getting the test result. They might know what the formulator has claimed this sunscreen to be labeled of, and the lab people does try to come up as closest to their SPF claim. But if you independently test a particular sunscreen and if you tell it like it is SPF 20 or SPF 10, then again that biasness happens. So this kind of biasness might be contributing to Purito because that miscommunication gap might have led to this whole controversy. Now, a couple of different factors that does contribute to the whole SPF rating or the whole coverage of your skin being protected from the sun depends upon the sunscreen filters that you are using, depends on the type of filters that you are using. For example, the Tinosorb S is the gold standard for me, and it is much more expensive than the other filters that we are like throwing away, such as Avobenzone or Oxynoset. So most of the higher range sunscreen does has all of these amazing filters like the new age filters, but the lower end or the middle end sunscreens does has a lot of old filters, including a lot of new filters to cut down that cost. And if you are concerned about the concentration of sunscreen filters, it is not the whole picture. For example, sometimes the type of solvents that you are using in a particular sunscreen does boost up the overall SPF rating. So if you have two sunscreen which has like only Tinosorb S as a complete filter and has 10% of Tinosorb S, you have another sunscreen which has like 2 or 3% of Tinosorb S and 1% of Oxynoset and has this amazing solvents, will almost be comparable with each other. Now if you want to get a more insight on this whole SPF testing topic, then you might want to see a video that one of my again favorite creators because when I think about sunscreen, I think about Lab Muffin Beauty. So if you want to check her video, I will link the direct link to her video in which she has gone into much more depth of everything that I talked about in detail. And because she is much more of an expert, you will get a lot more knowledge by seeing her video. So you should definitely check her video out. Now coming on to Indian sunscreens, because this topic is such a relevant topic and Indian sunscreen brands should really put a bar on their humongous claims. Now I'm not saying every brand in India is not trustworthy, but some of the brands where like for example the Olly titanium dioxide sunscreen, which is the shittiest sunscreen or shittiest brand to even invest on. If you want to learn the reason why I hate Olly so much, you can see my Olly video. Take an example for that Olly sunscreen. It does feels lightweight, it does feels almost like a cream, but the only filter that they have chosen is titanium dioxide, and titanium dioxide requires a lot for you to give that SPF 40 or SPF 30 rating, and titanium dioxide does gives you a lot of white cast. So that sunscreen feeling like a cream loaded with essential oils only is not a sunscreen, it's just a cream. So these are type of brands that are really fooling you. Another brand to be an example which is not exactly fooling you, this particular brand which is called as Eclipse Solaire is recommended by a lot of different dermatologists. Now this does has micronized zinc oxide and micronized titanium dioxide, but the concern that I have with this sunscreen is that some people are allergic to fragrances, right? But the ingredient list doesn't mention fragrance, and this sunscreen is a physical based sunscreen, but it doesn't has a lot of white cast, which is amazing. The main concern that I have with this sunscreen is that it is loaded with fragrance. It is not even the natural one, it is the most cheapest artificial fragrance that you can ever get. And if you are putting fragrance, it is okay to put in the bottle because some people are allergic to it, and this particular thing is called fooling. If you are a manufacturer of this product, please stop fooling customers. I'm also telling it to Olly. And this kind of sunscreen does promotes to this whole rage of people not trusting Indian sunscreen, because I will talk about a couple of different good Indian sunscreen in the end. But yeah, let's talk about the worst part first. So again, another sunscreen brand which is really famous nowadays is influencer promoting them, of course. Wow Skin Science SPF 55 has a decent amount of filters, but I don't think it will give you 55 SPF, at least to me, if it was in vivo tested and tested multiple times. It has a lot of different sunscreen boosting solvents. Another garbage brand we are going to talk about is Biotique. I know we have talked about Biotique in my channel. If you are an old viewer of my channel, you know I used to like Biotique product because they used to work for me. But the problem with Biotique product is that they do not disclose the full ingredient list. I think 10% of the ingredient they do disclose, and they do disclose the percentage, but the rest part of the ingredient list is termed as base QS, and we do not know what the hell has been putting in that base QS. So these kind of sunscreen I do not think you should trust, and they are putting like carrots as a sunscreen filter, so I don't think you should trust them anyway. Another brand is Khadi, again not disclosing their ingredient list. I do not think you should invest your money on Khadi. Again, we have talked about Khadi in my channel, but it was because I really liked the products and they were so affordable. It worked for me. I was broke back then and also naive back then, but I'm not naive now. So yeah, Khadi is again another brand that we are going to exclude from our sunscreen topic. Last brand that I am going to talk about is Dot & Key. Now Dot & Key does has only one sunscreen and they are claiming to be SPF 50, and it also does has a tint, but I do not think this sunscreen is SPF 50 for a couple of reasons. First of all, see, we have talked about a lot that ingredient list doesn't really matter, because let's be honest, sunscreen formulation does require a lot of time and expertise, and ingredient list do not say the whole picture. It is especially true in terms of a sunscreen. It does feels like a BB cream, and it did broke me out a little bit, so I'm also concerned about that. And it does gives you a little bit of a nicer glow, but it doesn't layers quite well. And Dot & Key products, I don't know, some of them does works for me, but the sunscreen didn't. And the reason why I am mentioning a sunscreen like this, because there are a lot of brands doing this kind of sunscreen. So for example, if you take Forest Essentials or Kama Ayurveda, they are again putting carrots as a sunscreen filter, other types of oils as their sunscreen filters. So it is true to a certain extent that they do have an SPF of about 8 or 3 or 1 maybe, But yeah, people like, I'm not going to name him, but there are content creators who are promoting this coconut oil is enough SPF for you, and people are making like natural sunscreen which are better for you. And this is the topic that I want to really like rage upon, because let's be honest, grating carrots and putting coconut oil is not enough for our skin unless you want to get tanned and want to get all that skin cancer benefits. So yeah, you should go ahead with that. But in this channel, I'm more focused upon sunscreen, and sunscreen is the most important step. That is the reason why I want to make this video. Now, two sunscreen that I really want to focus, especially in 2021, after seeing Rubina's video. And if you want to check her video, she also has an amazing, fantastic skincare based channel. You can check her video in the bottom box below. She has gone into much more detail about like Indian certified sunscreen. She is an expert, so she can make you understand much more better. The two sunscreen that I really want to try, first of all, is Jovi's one, and the second one is Lactocalamine. We are going to try Jovi's, do not worry, but Jovi's and Lactocalamine sunscreen, when they were tested among all the other sunscreen, which did included Neutrogena and La Roche-Posay, came out to giving you much more higher protection and also being much more stable. So this particular sunscreen from Lactocalamine is dirt cheap. It is for 250 rupees and you get about 50 grams, which is again very cheap, very affordable. It is minimal white cast, does has a pinkish layer of kaolin clay. But if a company like Lactocalamine and Jovi's can give you that amazing kind of a sunscreen and being tested out that amazing in this price range, why the hell brands like Olly and these brands like Eclipse are fooling you? So this is the concern that I have with the influencer, because first of all, you have a lot of mass audience that you are promoting a brand, and you should promote a product that will benefit them, not benefit your pocket. And that is the kind of job that you do. You are influencing people, and for me, influencing should be always done on the good side, not on the bad side. So yeah, there is hope in Indian skincare market, and I am really excited about the minimalist sunscreen because those guys are amazing, and I think their sunscreen is going to be amazing. So in the meanwhile, you can trust brands like Lactocalamine, Jovi's, and one of the underdogs of sunscreen or even skincare in India, and they do deserve a round of applause for making amazing sunscreen in those affordable range. And second is Bello Photo Stable, again amazing. Shividi always talks about this sunscreen. Shividi also has talked about a lot of sunscreen available in Indian skincare market. I will link her video in the bottom box below, so you can get an insight of various different people producing this amazing content, and then you can get influenced by them rather than getting influenced by a random content creator promoting natural sunscreen. Second creator that I want to suggest is Samapti. Samapti is amazing. She's beautiful. She is like, again, a sunscreen, I think a sunscreen nerd like me. She loves this sunscreen from LA Shield. I also loved it. This is a mineral based sunscreen. It promotes a little bit of white cast, but for me, it didn't give me a lot of white cast. It is a very beautiful sunscreen, almost very affordable. For 500 rupees or sometimes 450 rupees, you get about 50 grams. Amazing sunscreen. I recently tried this Requel sheer zinc tinted sunscreen, almost out of it, but it's amazing sunscreen. Requel is one of the brands that I truly love. It does have fragrance, but this one doesn't, and it is an amazing sunscreen. My favorite Indian sunscreen is the Requel blue sunscreen. I will link all of the products that I'm mentioning in the bottom box below. That sunscreen is the best sunscreen available in India. It is a chemical based sunscreen. It is a little bit different than the mineral based one, but I do love that sunscreen. And my favorite sunscreen, if you are not familiar with me already, Biore UV, my favorite one. Right texture, right reapplication texture, gives you enough protection because this company is testing out and reformulating this sunscreen every 2 years. So yeah, this is a sunscreen that you should invest on at least once, because the consistency, oh my god, feels like a serum, gives you enough protection, and has all of this amazing properties. And this is the reason why I love Japanese or Korean or Asian sunscreens in general, because their sunscreen game is way ahead. The type of filters they use is way out of the league of any FDA or Indian based sunscreen. Now this was a long video, but the two things that I want you to get from this video or take from this video is, first of all, we should not judge a book by its cover. We are really focused upon Purito like being this fraud company and giving us not enough protection in terms of SPF, but Purito as a brand is one of the amazing brands that you should be focused upon. They refunded their customers. I mean, if it was companies like Mamaearth or Wow or even like Biotique, they wouldn't have cared. right? And secondly, the whole sunscreen war that is happening, that is FDA approved sunscreen compared to Asian sunscreen and all of the sunscreen compared to Asian sunscreen. It is not the war that we should be focused upon right now. Sunscreen should be judged only by its filter, not being Asian or like other sunscreens. So we should stop having a mentality like that, and we should focus upon having a good sunscreen habit, which is first of all applying in now. Because for a fun fact, when SPF testing are being made, 2 milligram per centimeter square is applied, which is quite a lot, about 1.5 teaspoon of sunscreen for whole of your face and neck, which is quite a lot. And this is the habit that I want you to get. So apply sunscreen every single day and do not ever forget to reapply. If you want to see my previous videos on sunscreen that I did, you can see my whole sunscreen playlist in which I reviewed a lot of sunscreen and also talked about sunscreen topics. You can see that video. And this was me talking about like sunscreen certification and all of that. I will make like a separate video or part 2 version of this if you like this sort of video. So if you like this kind of content, do like this video, comment down below any other thoughts, concerns, arguments, anything that you want to give in the bottom box below. Also share this video to any of your friends who is blindly trusting a random influencer and trusting that natural sunscreen is your way to go, and you want to educate them in being more sunscreen fanatic and being much more kinder towards your skin, because sunscreen is something that you should require in any skincare routine. And lastly, subscribe to my channel if you like seeing my sweaty face, because offing my fan and offing my AC is quite hard in this Kolkata summers. And I will see you in the next video. So bye bye and take care.